A lot of you guys have been hitting me up saying, man, JT, DeAndre Hopkins isn't going to work. You're in the comment section of my DeAndre Hopkins, the Tennessee video, saying that he's going to be another Julio Jones. The Tennessee Titans aren't going to know how to use DeAndre Hopkins, JT. Tennessee is going to be the place where wide receivers go to die. And listen, I don't think that the Titans are going to waste DeAndre Hopkins' talents. All right, and I got to explain to you guys why I feel this way. This is the same organization that doesn't know how to get wide receivers like DeAndre Hopkins the ball, right? But didn't they just have A.J. Brown on their roster a couple of years ago before they traded him away? Tennessee is more than capable of being able to know how to utilize talented wide receivers. DeAndre Hopkins is not washed up. DeAndre Hopkins, when he was on the field after his suspension for Arizona, he was as dominant as ever. This is somebody who was still making things shake in Houston before he had Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is a future Hall of Fame wide receiver, and I keep trying to tell you guys this, and you guys don't listen to me, but the reason why DeAndre Hopkins still has a couple of more years of elite level players because he's a Hall of Fame caliber football player. Hall of Fame level players regress at a slower rate than normal players do. Tom Brady played way past the life expectancy of a starting NFL quarterback. Same thing with Larry Fitzgerald. So it's like Hall of Fame caliber players, they just regress at a slower rate than your normal player. So DeAndre Hopkins, although he's in his 30s, he probably still has 3 to 4 years left of high elite level wide receiver play. Last year, DeAndre Hopkins still looked like a wide receiver one to me. He still looked like a top 10 wideout to me in my eyes. And Ryan Tannehill is a pretty solid quarterback. I think that Ryan Tannehill is a little bit underrated. Not fully underrated, because I don't think that a lot of people are like completely sleeping on Ryan Tannehill. I don't think people be like, oh, like Ryan Tannehill is garbage. But Ryan Tannehill is a top 15 QB. I don't feel like a lot of people look at Ryan Tannehill as a top 15 QB, but he's good enough to be able to get DeAndre Hopkins the football. It's not like he had any issues getting the ball to A.J. Brown. So you give him a DeAndre Hopkins, I think that DeAndre Hopkins is still able to be a top 10 level wideout in this league. The Tennessee Titans don't have any interest in tanking. It really just comes down to if their offensive coordinator is going to be able to scheme up ways to get DeAndre Hopkins involved. Then that shouldn't be too hard. What does DeAndre Hopkins do best? Go up and moss people in those 50-50 ball situations. So all you got to do is dial up a 9 route and tell Ryan Tannehill to throw that freaking ball downfield. It's not that hard.
Come on now, dog.
It's not that hard.
Come on, man.
All Ryan Tannehill literally has to do is throw the football up if DeAndre Hopkins gets one-on-one coverage on the outside, and DeAndre Hopkins is going to come down with it 80% of the time. It's not that hard to get DeAndre Hopkins involved. You literally, all you got to do is throw the football up to him. That's literally all you got to do. So I don't really see how the Tennessee Titans can waste DeAndre Hopkins. This isn't somebody who is in the same career situation that Julio Jones was. Julio Jones, after that situation with Atlanta happened, was pretty much on the decline. This was somebody who has been incredibly injury prone throughout his career. Come on, man. Like, y'all make it seem like Julio Jones was this Iron Man for his whole entire career. Like, he even played through injuries. But even then, when Julio Jones was at his best, he was that guy. But you look at DeAndre Hopkins, he doesn't kind of have the injury history that Julio Jones had at this stage of his career. DeAndre Hopkins, although he has had some injuries that kept them off the field for, over the last, 2 years or so, they haven't really been injuries that have been sustaining for previous years. And DeAndre Hopkins is normally a pretty reliable player. Julio Jones was coming in to Tennessee not nearly as close to what he was in Atlanta. We saw a washed up version of Julio Jones in Tennessee, and it pains me to say that, but DeAndre Hopkins didn't show anything last year that told us he was washed up. So I don't really agree with the narrative that people are trying to put on the Tennessee Titans, just acting like they're going to be unable to get DeAndre Hopkins involved. It's not that hard. You tell DeAndre Hopkins to run a fly, you see one-on-one coverage on the outside with no safety help over the top, you tell Ryan Tannehill to throw that thing up every single time. And Julio Jones is going to come down with it 80% of those situations. It's not that hard. People make it seem like DeAndre Hopkins has to be schemed open and you got to do all these super over complicated things to get him involved in the offense. It's not that complicated. DeAndre Hopkins has one of those skill sets that all you do is tell him go deep and you throw it down football. You throw the football downfield. It's like playing moss with your buddies outside. One person throws the football where this like 5 other people, they throw it up for somebody to go up and moss somebody and come down and catch the football. That's all you got to do with DeAndre Hopkins. Tell him go deep, throw the football up, and let him go get it. So I don't think that the Titans are going to waste DeAndre Hopkins like I keep seeing some people speculate and predict on social media.